Good evening. I'm Pastor Elizabeth Bier, the pastor at One in Christ Lutheran Parish, and these are reflections for Maundy Thursday, 2020. Folks of my parish have been gathered at home around tables, and you've read John chapter 13, where Jesus gathers with his disciples around a table, where they share a meal, and Jesus institutes what we've come to call the Last Supper, Holy Communion. And that's actually the image behind me here at Emmanuel Lutheran in Longwood. And I'm excited that I get to be here today to record this message. My internet doesn't work well here, so I haven't been able to lead our live Zoom worships from Emmanuel yet. And so because I'm recording this, I'm able to be here at Emmanuel. And one of the things I've done in this space, which is often a part of our Maundy Thursday service, is stripping the altar, of taking away the adornments that are on the altar. And on this night, as I said, you've just read and heard John 13, Jesus talking with his disciples and giving them a new command. And that's actually, as a reminder, what Maundy and the Maundy Thursday means, is a command. Jesus commanding his disciples to love one another as I have loved you. And no greater love has one than this, to lay down one's life for a friend. And Jesus demonstrates this love by putting a towel around his waist and kneeling down and washing the feet of his disciples, an unexpected act of humility and service. And later, as these chapters continue in John, Jesus turns to prayers for his disciples and for us, praying for them. So part of that care for others is praying for them. And as Jesus continues this night, he invites some of his disciples, his friends, to go with him to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray, to stay with him, to be with him, to watch and pray in a night of his anguish. And thinking about that call to love and serve others, and also that laying down one's life for one's friends, I can't help but think about this week in the COVID-19 pandemic, that we're expected to hit a height of deaths in the US, which is scary. And in the midst of that, thinking about people who are literally laying down their lives for others, or at least risking that. Those on the front lines of the battle with this disease, with nurses and doctors, healthcare workers, firefighters, EMTs, and hospital staff. And again, thinking about Jesus that night when he went up to pray with his disciples, his request again that they stay with him, remain awake while he prays, knowing what is coming for him and being so anguished by it, and yet going forward. And thinking about that request for today, to stay with one another, to remain with one another, to watch and to pray, Christ remains and abides with you and me. And for those who are on the front lines of this, those who are fearful, those who are labeled essential workers, our thoughts and prayers, our compassion and support are with you. And to watch and pray right now, I think, means to stay alert and continue to remember and to give thanks for you and give thanks for each of us. And to come together in community in whatever way we can. It helps also cast out fear that we're in this alone, because you and I are never alone. We have this call to love one another as Christ has loved us. So if we go out on those needed supply runs or other medical appointments or things, we go out and we act not out of fear toward one another, but to look at each other, see and notice each other in love, not in fear. And another space that this comes up for me right now is hearing stories of those who do fear going out right now, from our Asian American siblings who are increasingly victims of hate speech and some hate crimes because of people seeing them and assuming that they have COVID-19 or they're somehow spreading it intentionally. And for many African Americans who are worried about wearing a face mask because of false associations or assumptions that might be made about them, that they are not doing this for their safety, but because they might be committing a crime. That association of darker skin and wearing a face mask. These are safety precautions that we are encouraged to take as a whole nation, and yet it takes more emotional energy for some. There presents dangers and worries that I know I, as a white woman, don't have to consider. It doesn't come to mind for me right away. And this is another place to stay with others, to watch and pray, to greet with a hello or a smile or kind eyes over your own mask perhaps. And again, to not act out of suspicion toward those around us, but to act and interact out of love, out of that love that Christ has shown to us and that lives in us, and that we live with and share with others. And there is a song from the Taize community in France that is literally the words I've been saying: to stay with me, remain here with me, to watch and pray. And I'm going to teach you this song first, and then we'll sing it a few times together, and then close this time with the Lord's Prayer. So I'll sing a line, and you can repeat it at home, and I'm going to move my hand in the rhythm of the song and with the tone, so you can follow along that way. So it goes like this. Stay with me. Remain here with me. Watch and pray. Watch and pray. Stay here with me. Remain here with me. Watch and pray. Watch and pray. Stay here with me. Remain here with me. Watch and pray. Watch and pray. Stay here with me. Remain here with me. Watch and pray. Watch please join me in prayer as Jesus taught us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen.